Alrighty, everybody. Well, good morning. How's everyone doing? How's everyone this lovely day? Oh, yes. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I welcome you all to my first gameplay stream of the consecutive streaming week. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It's a new streaming week here on Twitch. For those who don't know, Twitch considers Monday the first day of the week. But for me, my first day of the week is Wednesday. Why? Because I was off yesterday. Tuesday's my day off, usually, from streaming. And it was a pretty good day off. Admittedly, it was still kind of warm, but it wasn't swelteringly hot like it had been the last few weeks on my day off. I had a lot of fun stuff that I did with my wife. It was a good day overall. It was a good day. So, don't have much to talk about the day off. Just that it was a pretty good one. A few things happened in gaming news and stuff that we're going to touch upon this morning. Some things interesting, some things not so good for certain companies, but we'll talk about that. All right. Well, I don't know what you guys did. What did you guys do when I wasn't here? I'm curious. Anyone know anything interesting? Right? Anything? No? Well, I'm sorry about that. I hope some of you might have gotten caught up over on DSPGaming with all my playthroughs. I hope that some of you had a good day regardless of what you did. Whether it had anything to do with my content or not, it doesn't matter. Right? But I welcome you all back here to a full week of streaming. There'll be a full week of fun streaming here, which I'm very much looking forward to. So I hope you're looking forward to it as well. So what's going on this week? There's a lot going on this week, but nothing in the realm of new releases or anything like that. Instead, we'll be continuing on with various playthroughs, having some fun with stuff you guys wanted to see come back to the streams. Should be a good week. All right, let's talk a little bit about what you guys can expect, in this week. And then we'll talk a little bit about, as I said, some news and stuff that happened when I was away. And then we'll get started here. Okay, so what are we doing today? Today we're continuing on with Ghost of Tsushima. Game that I very much enjoyed over the past several weeks that I've played it. Playing it at my own pace. Not rushing through it. Doing all the content that I come across as I play it. And man, it's been a great ride. And now we are kind of heading into the end game at this point. We are in Act 3. Which from all reports is the shortest act in the game. Although there is still a lot of content there. Alright. But yeah, I am very much looking forward to more of this today. I don't know how many more sessions we've got from someone who had beaten the game. They had told me last time around maybe 2 sessions, 3 sessions tops. And we're going to beat Ghost of Tsushima. So there actually is potential that we may beat Ghost of Tsushima this week at some point during the course of the streams. Okay? But we'll see. I'm in no rush, as I said. Considering that it is one of my favorite games this year and of recent memory. I don't want to rush anything. I want to take my time with it and enjoy all the content that I can. Some people have asked, am I going to platinum it? I can't answer that because I don't know what the platinum entails. I don't know what trophies am I missing out on right now. And would they be feasible to get within the course of the playthrough without too much wasting of time and grinding? Excuse me. Obviously, what I like to do is it feasible and realistic, without having to extend the length of the playthrough a ridiculous amount, right? Then I would like to do it, but I don't want to extend the length of the playthrough a ton of streams, just because, because of interest in a platinum, you see? So, we'll see. Let's play it by ear, and let's see how it goes, and go from there. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So that's today's main stream. 3.5 to 4 hours of gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima. Tonight, something you guys I think are excited for, at least this is from what you guys have told me, you are pretty excited for it. It's the return tonight, if you can believe it, of Fall Guys. So, Fall Guys, which actually worked over the weekend to my surprise. the sensation of the summer so far, mostly because, let's be honest, it's free on PS Plus. However, shockingly enough, the game sold a ton on Steam where it's not free. So if anything, that's a good sign, right? It means that basically there's widespread mainstream interest in the game, even though the game is, not free on PC. Essentially, it is free if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. And let's face it, if you have a PlayStation, you're probably a PlayStation Plus subscriber. So you probably get the game for free. All right? So anyway, I played it this weekend for a major session. I really enjoyed it. You guys told me you really enjoyed it and you wanted to see more. So the late night stream tonight is Fall Guys. If you guys continue to like this, all right, I wouldn't be opposed to playing it more. However, just being honest here, it would have to be, a late night stream, and it would probably, I'd squeeze it in amongst my other things. And especially because there's so much else going on, all right? Just in particular, just think about the amount of playthroughs that we're actually doing just right now all at once. Ghost of Tsushima, we're trying to wrap up, okay? We just started Nier Automata, which is going to be a very lengthy playthrough because you guys want me to do all the different side runs and everything, right? So that's going to be super lengthy. Then we've got Paper Mario and Fire Emblem Three Houses, both of which are late night streams at this point, okay? So those are lengthy playthroughs that are going on. Then once a week I play Old School Street Fighter, and then I've been trying to cram in another session or so every week. And particularly it's been things like Animal Crossing and stuff like that. Well, this week it's going to be Fall Guys tonight. Okay? I would like to play more Fall Guys. If you guys like it tonight, we'll see about, like I said, squeezing it in as another stream. The thing is, if we do that, that means another game doesn't get played twice between Fire Emblem or Paper Mario. And let's face it, they're both incredibly lengthy games. And in particular with Fire Emblem, we're about halfway through the game, a little more than halfway through the game at this point, possibly. And we've got another game standing in the wings, ready to take its place in Divinity Original Sin 2, which you guys voted in as the viewer's choice winner. But I told you, there's no way I could play another insanely lengthy RPG like that until Fire Emblem's wrapped up. Okay? So, it's tough. It's tough right now because there's a lot of stuff I want to do, but there's just not enough time to do it. Like people say, when's Minecraft coming back? When's Morrowind coming back? And the answer is no time soon, because we're wrapped up in too many lengthy playthroughs. There's not much I can do about that. I gotta go with the flow. Go with the flow, and I gotta do my best to handle things in a intelligent manner. There's no way I could bring back those, and I'm only playing. Imagine if I only played Fire Emblem 2 hours a week. Can you imagine how long it would take me to complete Fire Emblem if I only played it 2 hours a week? I don't even know if I would beat it by the end of this year, realistically, Paper Mario, I'm only on World 3. And not to say that it's not a great game, but I don't want to be playing that through the fall when there's the new releases. I got to try to get that done within the next month or so. So I got to be playing these games at least, 4 hours a week. So that's the thing. As much as I would like to just play some Fall Guys a lot, at this point, I need to kind of weigh and balance what I'm playing. Now, here's what I'm thinking. All right, we're going through the schedule right now, with all these games I'm balancing. Ghost of Tsushima looks like it's gonna finish sooner rather than later. Maybe, like I said, another 2-3 sessions tops. When that finishes, before we jump headfirst into another playthrough, perhaps I will take a little bit of time to do a one-off stream of something like maybe a full Fall Guys stream, or maybe that week I'll do a major stream of one of the other games, either Fire Emblem or Paper Mario, and then that'll give us a freedom that week on a night streams to do something different, maybe do Fall Guys a couple sessions. Okay? So that's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. But anyway, let's get back to the schedule. So, Ghost of Tsushima, mainstream today, and Fall Guys tonight. Tomorrow, we rotate around to the other stuff we're doing. So tomorrow's going to be Nier Automata, Continuing on, so far I'm about 3.5 hours in, and people are saying, yeah, you're good progress. It's about a third of the way into the game already, so great progress. So looking forward to more of that tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, Fire Emblem Three Houses, okay? Friday, more Ghost of Tsushima, and again, we're approaching the end game. We'll see how far we get. And Friday night, my weekly throwback Street Fighter session. Saturday, more Nier Automata, and perhaps that'll be the end of my first run, Side A, and we can actually start the Side B run, okay? And then Saturday night, the continuation of Paper Mario and the Origami King. And then Sunday, more Ghost of Tsushima and potentially the conclusion of Ghost of Tsushima, depending on how it goes. And then Sunday night, of course, more Fire Emblem. And then Monday, more Nier Automata. I'm assuming by that point I'll be starting the Side B run. And more Paper Mario. And that's the streaming week, okay? Now, next week, if Ghost of Tsushima is completed, like I said, what I potentially may do is take a major day stream and play either Paper Mario or Fire Emblem as the main stream for that week to get good progress in that game. And that means 2 night streams are freed up to do other stuff. If I maybe want to play Fall Guys a couple night streams that week, I could do it. You see what I'm saying? And then next week will be a balance between Nier Automata and the new playthrough, which is going to be, it looks like, Batman Arkham City Remaster. Okay? Unless you guys say, no, I don't want that, I want something completely different, then I would consider it. But at this point, it seems like a lot of people are digging that. They've been wanting to see me play a Batman game for a while. It was the 3rd place in the Viewer's Choice poll. So I'm thinking that's going to be the next playthrough. Okay? And so it'll be a balance between that and Nier Automata on the day streams, and the night streams will be continuing on as they've been. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, if you look at the top of your streams, we are at an unprecedentedly long Vest streak of 232 straight streams where we have hit the Tips goal. The Vest streak continues, the positivity continues, your support continues. All right? I want to say thanks because you guys really not only have helped me out so much this year, you have no idea. My streams are a much more positive place. People are really supporting the streams, which is great. Recently, I've gotten a bunch of chargebacks on tips, but it's not unexpected. A lot of these chargebacks was from the tips that were very suspect, and some of them we didn't even count during the Vest goals on the streams, okay? It's a pain in the butt because it is hit or miss. And what I mean by that is when you have to go to PayPal with information about these, sometimes it works out very positively. In fact, I'd say over the past week, there were maybe 4 or 5 of these charged back tips from trolls that all I had to do was provide the information on the stream. I would say, here, I'm a streamer here, and here's the evidence from my Streamlabs or whatever of these donations and who they came from, and here's the evidence of the stream that shows a pop-up that happened. And there's been cases where even if people are kind of disputing those tips with their credit card to lie and commit credit card fraud to get their money back, that I keep the money anyway. That's happened a lot recently, and I'm actually happy about that because it means that even though these idiots are trying to troll me, I still get to keep the money. So that's a good thing. But recently, you guys have really been supportive on the streams, keeping the streak going. I appreciate that very much. So the next Vest celebration would be at the 250 streak milestone. Okay? So, what does that mean? It means that we're going to have fun doing some interesting stuff together during a Vest celebration. It's going to be, if everything goes according to plan and we continue with the Vest streak, okay, it would be a week from this coming Saturday. So it would actually be a weekend event. And what would happen during this event? Well, there will be a Q&A session. There'll be a live DSP Tries It. I'm not sure what the live DSP Tries It's going to be yet. I haven't determined that. Okay? But we've certainly been talking about ideas recently. And I'd like more ideas of things that you would like to see me do at DSP Tries It. So there's an interesting idea that someone proposed to me. And I'm considering doing it, but it's obviously going to be open to your input. So, if you guys remember, years ago, I used to do a podcast. That's many years ago. I haven't done a podcast in quite a long time. And on this podcast, there was a very popular segment called Back in the Day, where people would basically bring up topics about things from back in the day, when I was younger. And I would tell you about how things were back then, whether it was, things I did in school or jobs I had or playing Street Fighter or how video games were back in the day, the old consoles, how it was to live in the 90s and growing up during that major console era, all kinds of stuff like that. Okay? So when I stopped doing my podcast, people got all upset because those segments essentially just went away and never resumed. Although admittedly, we talk all the time about the past and stuff like that. There's never really like an official segment of it. So someone said, why don't you bring back, your back in the day segments essentially when you do these vest celebrations? You can have a fun discussion about various topics that people have wanted to hear about for a while, or maybe you can re-explore topics from years ago. Because let's face it, not everyone's going to go back and watch a podcast from 6-7 years ago, right? Not everyone's going to go back that far in time to watch my old stuff. So maybe, maybe going back and talking about popular segments like that. For example, like the first idea that I was given was, why don't you talk about your history with Street Fighter? What was it like growing up in arcades? How was Street Fighter played back then, handled back then? How did Street Fighter evolve over the years for you? How did you get into the competitive Street Fighter community? All those things. I could talk for hours about it because there's so much to talk about. It was my youth growing up. So that's something I'm considering. All right. So it's up to you guys. What I need is your feedback. Would you like to have a segment like that on the upcoming Vest celebration? Because I'm taking in feedback and I'm trying to do stuff that's more interesting for these celebrations. That's something that people used to absolutely love. And I'm curious if you'd like to see something like that return. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. Also, during that Vest celebration, there will be a reveal. I'm not going to say what, but there will be a reveal during that celebration. And one final thing. People have said you haven't done much or any gameplay at all. There's been zero gameplay during these Vest celebrations. Would you consider doing some gameplay? To which I answer, if you guys had an idea. And some people said, why not just do some Fall Guys during that session? Because it seems like such a fun game. It's real fun to watch you play. So maybe that week, during that session, I'll do some Fall Guys gameplay for variety's sake, okay? Now, I've already explained I'm not doing it in a party because I'm not putting anyone on my friends list who I don't trust. And the next thing you know, I end up with a bunch of fucking trolls harassing people on my friends list on my PlayStation. I'm not doing that, okay? It's me playing randomly. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, all right? But that's kind of my idea. So that would be a week from this Saturday. A Q&A session, of a new reveal, possibly a back in the day segment, a live DSP tries it, maybe some Fall Guys for the next Vest celebration, okay? And by the way, I'm just going to say this up front. This next Vest celebration is not going to be ruined by a bunch of negative, whiny shitheads. So if you don't like anything I just mentioned, you're like, oh man, that doesn't sound very good, then you don't have to be there. Because if you come and you whine the whole stream, I'm just going to ban you this time. I'm not going to actually put up with idiots trying to piss me off and ruin my mood. When it's supposed to be a celebration of the ongoing positivity of the streams, we're not going to let people come and try to dump their fucking anal loads all over it. You're just going to get fucking shit canned, and you're not coming back. Okay? So, it's that simple. You don't like it, don't attend it. That's okay. You can come back after the Vest celebration's over, and you can watch a ridiculous amount of other variety of content that I put out here on a daily basis on the stream. That's why I'm a variety streamer. There's no excuse. Okay? Sounds good? All right, guys. So, before we get into shout-outs today, I'd like to talk about a few news stories. All right? A few things that happened over the course of yesterday that I feel are worth talking about. First of all, there was a story that I talked about on Twitter that I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe this. It actually melted my fucking brain, okay? Most of you know about a small little company. You may have heard it. It's just this new upstarter. It's called Apple, all right? They do a few things. They make some computing components. I heard at some point they kind of dabbled into cellular devices or something like that. But anyway, apparently, they're starting to become more well-known, okay? This company called Apple. All right? So anyway, there's another company, and I couldn't even tell you the name of the company because I forgot it already. But this is a company that they want to do things with food preparation and delivery services. Okay? So they've created a logo for their new company, and they filed it with the trademark U.S. Trademark Office to try to get this logo trademarked so that this could be the symbol of their company. The symbol is pretty cool. It's a little pear. You know what a pear is. It's a fruit, usually green. Sometimes there are other colors like brown, but usually it's a green fruit. Tastes pretty good. I've had pears before. I like them. And it's a pear. It's kind of like, it's hot. How can I say it? It's like a black outline with white in the middle. So it's pretty generic, but at the same time, it's very distinct. You could tell it's a pear. Okay? Apple, in all their wisdom, have a team of lawyers, all right, who review things to make sure that people aren't trying to knock off Apple. As you know, it would be a horrendous thing if someone out there pretended to be Apple and started selling Apple knockoff products, because that totally doesn't happen or anything, even though I've seen them everywhere. So there you go. Anyway, so Apple's lawyers reviewing the situation to make sure that absolutely nobody copies their stuff or tries to impersonate them. They took a look at this logo that is very clearly a pear, and they have filed an official protest with the Trademark Office of the United States, citing that this logo is far too similar to the Apple logo. Now, the Apple logo, if you haven't seen it, is a big apple with a bite taken out of it and a leaf on the right-hand side. Okay? It's very distinct. Everyone knows what the Apple logo is. We've seen it for years and years and years, whether it was on PCs, and now, of course, everyone has an iPhone. We know what this is, okay? So it's hilarious here, because you look at the two logos next to each other. Like, do you know that there's the saying, you're comparing apples to oranges, right? In this case, we're actually comparing apples to pears, all right? You may think, okay, they're both fruits. They both have stems. They both have leaves. And you bite into them, they're almost the same consistency, all right? They don't look the same. They don't. Just taking a look at these two logos, there's no moron who would look at these two logos and say, I think that's the same company. You'd have to actually be, like, blind or stupid to actually have that thought process. So maybe they're afraid that everyone's just stupid, but there's no way that these companies' logos are anything similar. In addition, the companies are completely different. Apple is a company that does electronics like iPhones, iPods, computers, computer accessories, laptops. This company is a food preparation company. They're not going to be doing anything with electronics like that. I think the one thing that Apple did call out is that this company will have an app, and that app is where you're going to do it through. Like, you would go in there and they prepare food or whatever. I don't know if it's food delivery too. But basically, yeah, you would go in there, you prepare food prep through the app. Oh, well, Apple uses apps. So that's way too close. It's like, what? Now, listen, I own an iPhone. I've owned an iPhone for many years. However, I am not one of these people who is part of the Apple Club. This is a very odd group of people. Okay? People who like everything Apple they need to own. They feel like they're part of this weird culture cult mentality if they own Apple everything. Every time I go to my local mall has an Apple store in it. And there's a fucking line to get into the store. Right now, during the pandemic, there are people lining up outside of the Apple store to get inside. Why? I couldn't tell you. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why does anyone want to line up to get inside the store to look at the same accessories and products you can see at any other store? It's not like they don't sell iPads, iPhones, and accessories at other stores. People will wait in line to go inside the official Apple store and look at the same products because they feel it's like they're part of this inclusive group. You see what I mean? I mean, there's an exclusive group. I think it's exclusive group, right? This is so weird to me. Okay? It is. It's just so fucking weird to me. That this exists, this mentality. So Apple has actually created this weird air of like elitism around themselves and their products, where people who buy their products feel special, like they're part of this cultural cult mentality. And now the company actually and legitimately feels that anyone who uses a fruit as part of their branding is actually confusing consumers. Just because they think they're so synonymous with, we're that company that's a fruit. You know, we're so big and important and we're in the minds of everyone constantly. We wouldn't possibly want another company to use a fruit as their logo because then they could think, oh man, is that the same company as the other fruit company? Like, what? Are you out of your fucking mind? Okay? Outside of that cultish mentality, if you're outside of that bubble, that cult bubble of Apple, I hate to tell them, but people don't necessarily have the best opinion of Apple and their products and the people who are obsessed with them, okay? I'm someone with an iPhone, but I know that the Android products are good. People have told me over the years so many times, you should switch from iPhone to Android. Android is better. They've got all these other cool features and things. You can actually, what do they call them? Jailbreak the phones. Unlike the iPhones, you get more features out of it and stuff. It's not as nearly as restrictive or whatever. And, you know, I've debated going to an Android over the years. I have absolutely nothing that's tying me to the iPhone besides the fact that I've been using an iPhone for over a decade now. So, for me, you know, I like, okay, it's funny because Apple is so up their own ass about them being such an important and like a company that how dare anyone use a fruit logo that's not us? We got to immediately file a complaint with the Trademark Company of America or whatever, the Trademark Board. I don't know who it is, some group. Because how dare they? It's like, what? Are you out of your mind? No, not once ever would I think there's a food company, something have to do with food, that is you. Okay? Ever. Apple. Never. Will I ever think of you and food together? Never. Just because you are a piece of food, the name of your company, does not mean that you are food. And you have anything to do with a company that's delivering and preparing fucking food. Alright, it's so, what it is, it's so ludicrous. It's so, the company has become so elitist and so conceited. They actually think that they're so important that no one else dare use a fruit logo like that. That is ridiculous, and like, that actually turns me off when it comes to their products. Like, that actually pisses me off. That a company thinks they're so big and important that they can actually now take an upstart company that's just starting up and they got a good original idea for a company, something they want to do, a service they want to provide, and they're getting harassed by fucking Apple because of this shit. Like, fuck off. Seriously. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. I would hope that a court would look at this and say, are you out of your fucking mind? You shut the fuck up and stop wasting everyone's time with this frivolous bullshit. But who knows? Because Apple is so big, that's the problem. Apple is so big and has so much interest when it comes to money and stuff. Maybe a court would actually fucking entertain this and force this poor small upstart company to actually have to change their logo, even though it looks absolutely nothing whatsoever like an Apple. But anyway, that just fucking, it blew my mind. Now let's talk about some game stuff, guys. Two big announcements in regards to Microsoft related stuff. You ready? One's positive, one's negative, although one of them pretty much we already knew. It's been confirmed. Actually, I take that back. There's two things here. First of all, it's been confirmed there's going to be two models of the new Xbox console, even though Microsoft did not publicly confirm or deny this. People have already gotten their hands on the packaging. They're already pre-printing the packaging for the new controllers that are going to go out for sale along with the new Xbox console. And the controllers say this controller works with Xbox Series S and Series X. Get it? There are going to be two models. It says it right there on the printed packaging that's going to be included with the controllers. There's going to be two models of the new Xbox. So they're doing exactly the same thing that Sony's doing with the PlayStation 5. Now, will it be as big of a deal where one maybe has an optical drive and one doesn't? I don't know. But there's definitely going to be two versions of the console just like Sony's doing. Okay? So that's number one. Number two. It's confirmed that the new Xbox console is coming out in November. I guess Microsoft updated some of their wording on the website to basically say, come this November, you can enjoy the new console or whatever. So it's been confirmed. It's coming out in November. Now, we all knew this. I mean, we're not stupid. We already speculated. And if you remember, I went through the gaming schedule a few weeks ago during the last Vest celebration. And we saw that there's 2 glaringly empty weeks right now. The first week of November and Thanksgiving week, which is the end of the 3rd or last week of November there. That there's nothing going on with gaming. It's a no-brainer that the new consoles is going to come out maybe one week, maybe one the other week, or maybe they'll both come out the same week. Who knows? That'd be pretty insane. Okay, but it's definitely going to be coming out around then. We already knew that, but Microsoft just basically confirmed it, okay? The other piece of information ain't so good. I'm sorry. It just ain't so good for Microsoft at all. Halo Infinite has been canceled, and Master Chief has been banished to the Shadow Realm. That is not true. But what actually happened, Halo Infinite got delayed. And let's be honest here. Any of us who saw this Xbox game reveal event a couple weeks ago, when we actually saw the footage of Halo Infinite, you thought something was off about it. So you went back and watched it again, you realized those graphics looked like shit. Those graphics were terrible. The lighting was like 2 generations old. The detail on the characters looked like garbage. You know? It just looked terrible. And so many people made fun of this game on the internet. It became a viral thing on the internet to make fun of Halo Infinite of how bad it looked. That apparently everyone at you know, the development studio, was it 343, as well as Microsoft management, pretty much got together and said, holy shit, we did not expect it to go this way. We thought we were going to show this game off and people would be hyped, and it's the opposite. People were actually laughing at our game and making fun of it in viral memes. What do we do? So the first thing they did is within that release week, within that release week of the trailer is what I meant to say, or that the trailer information there from the reveal, they tried to try to redirect. Oh, the multiplayer of Halo Infinite will be free to play. Everyone will be able to play it. You don't even have to buy the game to play it. To which everyone was like, what? Why? What doesn't even make sense? So now you're telling us you don't even need to buy the game to play the multiplayer, that it's free. So what am I paying for if I buy the game? A campaign? I mean, let's be honest here. Yes, there's a group of people who play the campaign of Halo and love it, but there's going to be a lot of people playing it just for the multiplayer. And if you're giving that away for free, you see what I mean? So it was like, they really fucked up. So not only did the game look like shit, then they made an announcement that made no business sense whatsoever and left everyone scratching their heads. And it's like, what is going on with this game? Okay? So everyone's basically thinking, damn, if this game comes out in November with the release of the new Xbox consoles, and with only a few months left to go, how bad is this game going to be? This is supposed to be the flagship title for Microsoft, right? And although admittedly, Halo 4 and 5 were not very good games in my opinion, and I'm not exactly sure that 343 would have done a good job with this anyway, there's still people who hold Halo in this incredibly high regard, for some odd reason. I don't know why, but they do. You know, they say, oh, Halo is the flagship game. That's the system seller, the killer app. That's why you need the Xbox Series X in November to play Halo. Well, guess what? Got delayed. They announced yesterday. And of course, they always list the most bullshit reasons I've ever seen in my life, right? Oh, well, you know, due to the COVID situation, COVID-19, and because of, to avoid employee burnout, right? We're delaying the, wait a minute, what are you talking about? COVID-19, this game's been in development for several years. COVID-19, it's not like you just started making the game and it got fucked up. This has already been in development for the longest time. COVID-19 may have affected it slightly, but that's not the reason you're delaying the game, you assholes. You just showed the game. You literally just showed the game at the Xbox Games Reveal event and acted like this game was good and was going to be coming out in November. All of a sudden, now COVID-19 has delayed it this week. Like, you're so full of fucking shit. You know? I hate when they fucking pussyfoot around it. Here's what they should have said. Ladies and gentlemen, we showed you the game. You didn't like it. Okay, we hear you. As a company, we listen to our customer feedback, and we're going back to fix this game and make it better for you, because when we actually put it out, we want it to blow your freaking pants off. So we're going to actually work hard to make a better game. Thank you for the feedback. We'll see you next year, and we're going to rock your socks when you actually play Halo Infinite. That's what they should have said. And I think people would have actually respected it. Instead, here's the bullshit. Oh, COVID-19, and we got to make sure our employees aren't overworked. Horse shit. You're going to overwork the fuck out of your employees now. You're going to make them work twice as hard because no one liked what they just showed a few weeks ago in that Xbox game preview. So don't bullshit me. Don't blow smoke up my fucking ass. I'm not an idiot, and I wasn't born yesterday. Just be honest. Tell us the game sucks, and you're going to make a better one. But, of course, they'll never do that, right? Be honest with the customer. Oh, that would mean we respect them, so we can't do that. So now, we're looking at this release window of the Xbox Series X, and man, it ain't looking good. Just being honest here. You know, I actually posted up a question on my Twitter, and I got some pretty interesting answers that I'd like to go through right now, because I think you guys would actually enjoy some of these answers, because I got some nice, candid answers from people. And so my question was as follows. With the now delayed Halo Infinite, okay, what is your mentality? What's your line of thinking? Are you still going to buy an Xbox Series X? Are you still interested in it? Or did this announcement of the delaying of Halo Infinite kind of screw everything up for everybody? Okay. So here's what people had to say. I'm going to bring up my, because I liked a ton of these. Let me scroll down here. Here we go. Here we go. Scrolling all the way down here so I get them all. Okay, the first response I got, someone says, yeah, I'm still going to get an Xbox Series X anyway. That way I can give my current Xbox to my sister. So here's someone who's so pissed that their sister is constantly using their Xbox. They want to get the Xbox Series X so they have a console for themselves, and their sister can just have their own console. That's actually quite funny. I'm still split. I want the PlayStation 5 for Demon's Souls, but is it worth it for one game? Because I really like the Xbox consoles. Interesting. I am still getting one. It's still a huge upgrade in hardware over Xbox One, and it's backwards compatible, so I can keep playing my games there. It sucks that Halo isn't coming, but I'll live. Okay. Nope, it's going to be a while till I get a next-gen console. If I get another console, it's just going to be a PS4 Pro. The backwards compatibility for all generations is still compelling, and the upgrades the console will give to older games. To be honest, I will still get an Xbox Series X, actually. Halo was a big blow, and it is shocking. I had Halo to be one of the biggest games of the year. My hope is that besides these other games that dropped, I hope Call of Duty shows up to save 2020 gaming-wise, but I wouldn't mind the Series X at all. Okay? No, I'm not a fan of Xbox exclusives. I'll just get a PlayStation 5 sometime next year once any kinks have been ironed out. That's actually an interesting attitude to take, because I was thinking, gee, now everyone's going to basically say, screw Xbox Series X, I'm getting PS5. But the wait-and-see attitude might make sense. It is very true that usually the first slew of consoles, every console generation, end up having some kind of problems. It may make sense to wait. Let's see here. Honestly, they have failed to get me hyped. I've been with the Xbox since the 360 days. I tried to be excited, but man, these past few showcases have done nothing. Getting PlayStation 5 at launch with Marvel's Avengers and maybe Ghost of Tsushima. I will as well. Just because Halo won't come out at launch, it shouldn't stop any gamer from purchasing the console, in my opinion. I'm not even planning to get an next-gen console soon, so I won't get an Xbox Series X because all their games are going to be out on PC anyway. And that's another interesting point here. If you already got a gaming PC, there's really no reason to get an Xbox at all. Because all those games all those exclusives anyway, end up being on PC. So there's no reason to buy the console. If you want great console exclusives, you're going to buy the PlayStation 5. So you're telling me that basically the Xbox Series X is the console for those who don't want great exclusives and don't have a gaming PC already. So let's do the math and figure out who that is. Okay, I really like the Xbox Series X. I have a PlayStation 4 at the moment, but I had the Xbox and Xbox 360 and the first Xbox One. The fact that it will upgrade older game graphics is good, but there's a big blow about Halo. But I'd rather have them take more time and bring out a more refined game I just want the pre-orders to open soon. Oh, now here's an interesting opinion. They should just delay the console to 2021. You know, at least Sony will have a couple games worth buying at day one. Here's another one. At this point, I'll pass on the Xbox console. I have a gaming laptop. Now, here's an interesting take. If you can only choose one console and your money is tight, definitely go with the Xbox and then get Game Pass. Things like Yakuza Like a Dragon and the Medium are going to be there day one with Game Pass. All the big third-party games will look better, and you don't have to buy new accessories. Now, I actually responded to this guy because I actually agreed with that. I was listening to that point. I was like, that's actually important, I think. A lot of people who already own an Xbox One, maybe they don't want to drop a ridiculous amount of money on this new console. You know, typically a new console launch is very pricey. You got to buy the console. You got to buy backup controllers and charger fucking accessories. Maybe you got to buy a new headset to work with the console. Then you got to buy the games. You know, it could be very, very expensive. With the Xbox Series X, all the accessories from the original Xbox One are supposed to work, including the controllers, which is the biggest thing for me. Your controllers will work still. That's pretty good. That's an important point. But I did bring up, because I responded to this guy, and I said, you are aware that the Xbox Series X does not have any optical out audio port. And all current gaming headphones that have any surround sound feature need optical out. PlayStation 5 will have it, but they skimped on the Xbox Series X, and it doesn't have it at all. So, you know, you're not going to be able to use your current headphones, to which a few people replied to me, and they said, well, I guess you're not paying attention. I guess I'm not. That apparently these next-gen consoles are all supposed to have built-in 3D audio now. You don't need to buy an expensive headset with a big receiver unit. Like I have right now with my Astro A40s, it has this little Astro receiver unit thing. It's called the Mix Amp, okay? And apparently, this Mix Amp is what, you know, decodes the audio and turns it into surround sound in my headphones. But it runs off the optical audio port. So apparently these next-gen consoles are going to have their own deal here where they're going to automatically make it semi-surround sound via any headphones. And someone even responded and said, yeah, with the Series X, there's a headphone jack built into the controller, and you can plug any headphones into this, and the software itself will decode 3D audio and make it feel like semi-3D in your headphones. At least that's what I'm being told. That's the responses I got, okay? If that's the case and it's actually good, I mean, I'm all for that. I would love to just go out and buy any pair of headphones that I like, that are comfortable to my head, and maybe have a nice noise isolation feature, and then have 3D audio without having a million other accessories. I'm all for that, okay? But I don't know, because, see, it's always been easier to just go out and buy a pair of headphones for the console, because now everything's in it. If you need to do voice chat, you got a microphone built into it, right? And all of that, instead of needing, okay, so my headphones plug into the controller, but now I need to get a microphone somewhere, plug it in somewhere else. Now I got to go into settings and fuck with these settings a million times, instead of just having it all through one device. So, interestingly enough, I don't even think we're going to understand fully how accessories are going to work with these new consoles until the consoles are out. I think that's the only way to actually figure this out. But anyway, that was an interesting point. Now, here's another response. I'm definitely going to get one. I love their ecosystem and the features, and I already have had Xbox for generations now, so I'm more invested into it. I don't think it's a big deal. All the hate is stupid. I'd rather play third-party games at better quality. I don't mind less exclusives. Okay. I honestly plan on getting two. One for me and one for my wife, so we can play Halo together when it comes out. Huh. Okay. I'm still on my first Xbox One that I got around release. I might upgrade to a Series X just because I'm used to Xbox and I want a 4K entertainment system that I can play Halo on. Well, it's interesting how Halo just got delayed. Everyone's still talking about Halo. I'm getting an Xbox at launch. Even if it's older games experienced in a higher higher frames per second, and resolution, that would still make me satisfied. Eventually, though, I will get a PS5, so it's a win-win for me. Let's see here. Yeah, Winds of Winter basically says it's a mix, but for him, consoles aren't a big deal because he has a gaming PC and he can play everything on PC. There you go. I'm not going to bother getting any console unless exclusives are permanent and are many. I only got a PS4, and most of the games there I got are now out on PC. Only Bloodborne is the only game that remained exclusive. Huh. I got some pretty good feedback. Admittedly, this is pretty good. Now, here's a take. Still a day one purchase for me because the PlayStation 5 has 0 AAA launch titles as well, and I don't see anyone freaking out about, oh my god, there are no games. I'll still have all my old games and new multi-platform titles, and Halo's getting the time it needs to be properly finished. You cannot beat the value that Game Pass will have. Now here's an opposite take. Definitely not on release, man. The lack of great games on the Xbox One turned me off and made me cautious. My Xbox One is just a big paperweight. Seems like Xbox Series X is headed down that same path with no great games to play. So that was interesting, and I'm happy. Anyone who responded, thank you. That was some good feedback that I got there. What it tells me, all right. What it tells me is that there is not a consensus. That even though on social media, people seem to be freaking out about, oh, this is like the end for Xbox Series X, no one's going to buy one. There are still people who are in the mentality that they're still going to get it anyway. The Game Pass is a good value. And maybe this won't be as big of a blow as people originally are thinking. But at the same time, you know, what will people be playing on these consoles at launch? I think we really need to sit down and think about that. I don't know. Like, if I get these consoles, even I don't know what I'm going to be playing at launch, right? Okay. All right, guys. So anyway, that's the news. Let's get the shout-outs. All right? Let's do some shout-outs, folks. What the hell just happened? Here we go. So during my day off, a few contributions came in. El Nice Gaio gifted a subscription to Enfin. Thank you for that. Golden Colts cheered a couple of times there and said, hope you have a good day off. Thank you. And Alpha Merch subscribed to the channel for 14 months in a row, 15 total. Purple Stain resub for 10 months. And then Golden Colts cheered 3 hours ago. Said, did you ever eat those sugary, individually wrapped breakfast bars? You mean Nutri-Grain bars? He says, I got a bunch of boxes of Nutri-Grain bars, I guess, yeah. It has jelly filling. I want to keep skipping breakfast. No, I keep skipping breakfast. I need to be eating something. I mean, I think that's what they're made for. They're made to be like, if you can't have an actual healthy breakfast, at least you're getting some kind of energy in your body, a little bit of grains and sugar, and I think some of the Nutri-Grains actually have some protein in them as well, depending on which ones you buy. I've had them. I think they're not great. They are really sugary. And actually, over the years, I swear to God, they put less and less fruit to the point where it just becomes like this dry oats with like very barely any good flavor in it. If I'm starving and I have some in the house, I'll have one for breakfast. But typically, I prefer something different. Like right now, we have muffins. We went to Costco yesterday and got Costco muffins. Oh my God, the muffins are so good. I just had a blueberry muffin this morning. Like, oh, it's just fucking great, man. Or a bowl of cereal. Or like sometimes I'll have like a granola bar. I don't know. I like granola bars with nuts and stuff in it. That's good. But usually, I wouldn't go for the Nutri-Grain. I think it's too sugary and not enough fruit, where it just becomes like dry oats. Yuck. Only Iced Coffee gives a subscription to Alice this morning. Congratulations, Alice, and thank you, Only Iced Coffee, for the continued support of the channel. By the way, guys, I should say something. Be careful about social media, because what I've found is that there are people who are impersonating people on social media, and I didn't even realize this. Like, there was someone impersonating Only Iced Coffee, and I just thought it was them, and they told me this morning, that's not me, so I banned that fucking account. I don't like people trying to impersonate viewers and impersonating people who we're all familiar with from the streams on social media, because that now could be bad. What if that person now starts acting up or saying fucked up stuff, and now we think that's the real person, and it's not? You know, so you always got to be skeptical about that kind of stuff. I'm glad that I was told this morning this was not the person, because I don't want to now get the wrong idea, you see. But be careful. There's a lot of people who are like that on the internet. There's a lot of people on the internet who impersonate me everywhere. It's funny because I'll go to register for something. Like, for example, I went to register for the Square Enix whatever it's called. I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called. Square Enix account or whatever recently, so that I could play the Avengers beta. I had to create a Square Enix account. And when I went to do it, Darkside Phil, DSPGaming, they're all taken. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I didn't fucking register for this. So those assholes go in there and they try to take every fucking name possible, right? They try to take every variation of my name to fuck around so that they could try to impersonate me, and do fucked up stuff. I've heard about people as me posting up on forums all over the internet, people on streaming sites and businesses impersonating me. It's like, these people are fucking no-life losers, right? I'm sure if that's happening with me, what happens is that people look for stream regulars, and now they try to do the same thing and impersonate those stream regulars, right? So be careful, guys, about stuff like that. Don't just believe everything and take it at face value, because there's a lot of assholes on the internet. Golden Colts, 1 hour ago, did the first cheer. Asked me about what do I think about Kamala Harris being nominated as Joe Biden's VIP. I don't care. I don't care. At this point, seriously, and I mean this, at this point, our government has failed us so miserably this year. So miserably. They failed to have any kind of leadership whatsoever with this outbreak. And they just failed over and over to show they have no actual understanding of the American people and how we survive or live on a daily basis. And I could not give two shits if they voted in a fucking, if they voted in Aardvark as president. Probably do just as effective as a job. Our government sucks. Seriously. So I don't give a shit. I think both candidates are terrible. Okay? I said this last time too. I did. I said I felt that both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump would be terrible presidents. Well, I think Donald Trump and Joe Biden would be terrible presidents. So here we go again. So who knows what the hell's going to happen? I don't know. But I just don't care about this political shit anymore. I can't. When our government fails us so much, there's not much that I can really say or do. And by the way, it doesn't matter if I get on my soapbox and I gab about this for an hour. It's not going to change anything, so I'm not going to waste time on it. Thank you for the first cheer. Pedro Klopp tipped me $1 and says, Phil, sorry to bother you. Did you see my email about the ban? I have no idea. I don't think anyone named Pedro Klopp emailed me, or I didn't get one from anyone whose name was that. He says, do you plan on playing Fairy Tail game? I heard it's pretty good. I know Fairy Tail is some kind of an anime or manga. I know nothing about a game at all. This is the first I've even heard that there's a game coming out. So I guess the answer is no, because I didn't even know of its existence until this very moment. Save the Pig, the game, did a 100-bit cheer. So please, free Snow Carl. No. Every time someone asks to free Snow Carl, it actually lowers his chances of ever being unbanned. It's true. There's I have a tracking system of the actual percentage points that he has as a chance of coming back. And every single time someone asks, I remove half a point. Okay? So, it's in your best interest to just forget about the whole thing. Only Ice Coffee, give to the subscription to Young Remy. Thank you, Young Remy. Golden Colts did a 50-bit cheers. Says, can you play Max Payne 2 instead of Batman? Batman only beat it by a single vote, and you've already played it. Well, as much as I would like to say, Max Payne 2 I've never played before. I mean, I actually am craving a Batman game. We have not now played a Batman game since 2015. And that whole Rocksteady trilogy was so outstanding and so good that I definitely think I want to replay Arkham City. Midnight Syndicate tipped $2 to become today's top tipper so far. Let's get him on the leaderboard. He says his phone updated itself, and it basically screwed everything up, and he can't tip on his phone anymore. So now he's tipping from his laptop. And first of all, Midnight Syndicate, I'd like to say I appreciate you going out of your way to support the streams, even though it's a hassle. But I'm curious what updated on your phone, because the link to tip didn't change, right? So that page should still load. I don't, you know what I mean? Unless you're saying for some reason PayPal doesn't work anymore through your phone. I'm very confused as to what could have changed with a phone update that now you can't tip via your phone. That's very weird. Anyway, thank you for the tip. Only Iced Coffee, give it a subscription to Golden Nobles. Congratulations, Golden Nobles, and again, thank you, Only Iced Coffee. Alfred Aponte resub for 11 months. He said, my dude, much love for you and my family. Take care. All right, thank you very much, Alfred. Appreciate that. Handy Peters cheered. Says, you know you can hide friends lists, etc. on PlayStation. It sounds like an excuse not to play with fans. My friends lists are hidden. People still get harassed. Back, when was it? There was a Battlefield game on PS4. I forget which one it was. And I had all my shit set to private. Everything. Every possible option set to private. And this was one of the last times that I actually did multiplayer sessions with viewers. This is around the same time as Metal Gear Solid 5 and all that. And everything was private. And then I had people on my friends list who would join. And all of a sudden, people are telling me, Phil, I'm getting 100 private messages. I'm getting harassed by people because I'm on your friends list. I'm getting invited to detractor communities and shit. And basically that was the last straw. Like when I was playing, I think it was a Battlefield and it was Metal Gear Solid 5 multiplayer. Those two games that I was playing multiplayer with viewers, and people were basically telling me that they were getting harassed. I'm like, but I have everything shut off, and it didn't matter. There's ways around everything. So it's not an excuse. It's actually a good reason. The reason you want to accuse me of it being an excuse is because you're a piece of shit asshole who's trying to talk shit about me and act like I don't care when I do. But I know better because I've been there, done that, and I know exactly what happens. So you can fuck off. Enjoy your permanent ban. Lunaba tipped me $2 and says, have a good stream, Phil. Thank you very much, Lunaba. I appreciate that. Thank you for the tip. Pow Pow tipped me $1. Oh my God, this is so disturbing. Wait till you hear this. Are you ready for this one, guys? I don't know if I'm ready to read this one. He says, I often have a dream where the doctor hands me my newborn son. He's bundled in a towel. I can't see him. When I take him in my arms, I unfold the towel to reveal my son. When I look at him, he has your face, beard, and all. Oh my God. Now that's fucking disturbing. That's a nightmare you probably won't recover from. But I'm not paying for your psychiatry bills. I'm sorry. That was your dream, not mine. I don't know what's going through your head, man. Anyway, Tarantula MS 2018 tipped $4.20, which is the biggest tip of the day now. He says, would you like to see comeback of Dead Space and Fear series? Unfortunately, both succumb to the Resident Evil effect by adding a necessary co-op. I think both series would look great on next-gen consoles. Yeah. I loved those series, man. I did. I loved those series. I thought they were fun. I played Fear 2 and 3 on YouTube. And then I played every single Dead Space, right? I played every single Dead Space game. Multiple times. And obviously, I think Dead Space is better than Fear. Fear 2 was pretty good. Fear 3 was kind of shitty because of the co-op aspect. But Fear 2 was a good game. And I miss horror games. I do. They're few and far between these days, and the few that they put out here, they end up turning them into these walking simulator games instead of true horror games. So, I would hope we would have another slew of horror games coming, and I would love to see Dead Space come back. I seriously would. That would be like a crazy redemption story. By the way, I don't think Dead Space 3 was a bad game at all. Even though it was meant to be co-op, I think that it was a good game. I played it through both in co-op and solo. And I think that it was still a good game either way. So, I don't know, man. Whacker tipped $1 and says Steve Jobs is buried inside of an apple tree. Well, that's good to know. Midnight Syndicate tipped $1 and says I had an iPod Touch 5th gen back in my adolescence. I switched to Android 3 years ago. I never looked back. Well, there you go. We're talking about the Apple and Android thing earlier. Wow, excuse me. Musical burps this morning. Very nice. Nose Vacuum Cheers says, do you have an iPhone? Yes, I've said a million times I have an old iPhone here. I really need to get around to upgrading it at some point because at this point, the battery life is atrociously bad. If I use the phone for like an hour, it dies. And the phone case that I've now had for so many years is completely dilapidated. Like, I need a new phone, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get one. Midnight Syndicate tipped $1 said, I just read that. Tom tipped $2 said, are you going to play the South America game? Yes. I'm going to play South America, the game. Hot new release coming out this year. Actually, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. A Reflecting God, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Reflecting God, for the sub. Nose Vacuum cheered again. He said, I like it when you read our opinions on pre-stream. You should do it more often. Well, if I have something to take in your opinions via a public format like this and share those opinions with the public, I will do that. Shadow the Hedgehog did a 500-bit cheer and said Kanye 2020. There you go. We know who Shadow's voting for. Now, Shadow, I'm going to abbreviate your name to Shadow the Hedgehog because names are so long that the leaderboard keeps filling up. But thank you for that, and we know that's Shadow the Hedgehog there. Eternal Napalm did a 150-bit cheers. I'm getting PS5 at launch with Demon's Souls, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and hopefully a new Battlefield. Possibly Godfall 2. What is Xbox even launching with? I don't think Demon's Souls is a launch title. Demon's Souls did not have any release data when they showed it off at that PlayStation event, unless they have followed up and said it is a launch title. That was not confirmed. Same with Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Everyone's assuming it's coming out this year. It doesn't necessarily mean that, right? I don't know. Honestly, I think, sadly, that there really aren't great launch games for either console at all. This is a situation where the console launch is going to be quite poor, I feel. So, Midnight Syndicate tipped me $1, said phone updated its OS version. I went to donate through my main Brave mobile browser. It redirects directly to PayPal app instead of mobile browser PayPal. I signed in, the donation doesn't go through despite a thank you for using PayPal message. So basically, they force you to leave the browser window and use an app. And that's when there's a disconnect. It crashes the process. That's stupid as shit. They shouldn't force you to use an app to do something in a browser. That is pathetic. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's really dumb. Thank you for the $1 tip. Zelda Minis cheered. He says, you should get the iPhone 12 when it comes out in 2 months. Rumor is that it's twice the performance of last year's model. It'll be a huge upgrade. Yeah, and guess what? The iPhone 12 will probably cost like $2,000. And to finance it into my phone plan will probably raise the price by $100 to $200 a fucking month. I'm not doing that shit. I'm getting a cheap phone. Okay, guys. Quick shout-outs. First of all, thank you to the top cheers of the week. In 10th place, I can't read it. Oh, we've got a triple tie for 8th place between... Never mind. We have a tie for 9th place between Marlins Manny and Insomniatic Me. We got Eternal Napalm in 8th place. Mature Adult in 7th. A tie for 5th place between Spartan King and Golden Colts. Captain Caveman is in 4th. Nonsense Gaming Live in 3rd. Yoshino Lover in 2nd. And Shadow the Hedgehog is currently in 1st place. Thank you to those who gifted subs this week, including El Nice Guy and Gorilla X Pimp, who gifted 1, and Only Ice Coffee, who's gifted 11. One final message here from Eternal Napalm, who did a 100-bit cheer, and he said, absolutely love the start of your Nier Automata complete run. You seem to be enjoying it a lot. You're great at the combat. Looking forward to the next session. I am not great at the combat at all. I'm terrible at it, but I'm sure I'll get better. But I am enjoying it with, being interactive with you guys now and talking about the game and stuff is a lot more fun. Remember when I did my first run, I was just starting to do that, and I wasn't really good at it. I was more like kind of juggling the game, and reading Steam chat was like a pain. Now I could do it a lot easier. So I think this playthrough is going to be pretty fun. All right, guys, quick break. I'm going to use the restroom. You guys chillax. I'll be back in a couple minutes, and it's time for Ghost of Tsushima Act 3 to continue. It should be a great session. And like I said, we're heading to the end of the game. I'm excited to see how it ends. I'll be back soon. See you guys in a few minutes.